Hey, what's going on, LEGO Maniacs, and welcome back to a brand new video. I am ZacATK. So some big news just dropped last night, and I was in the midst of working on redoing the entire LEGO city, which I was actually just got done filming all of that, and I was just about to start editing it, and then I saw all this stuff. I was like, wait a minute, I need to make a video about this right now. We have revealed images, leaked images of the 2025 set number 75419, the $1,000 9,023 piece 38 minifigure set that is the Ultimate Collector Series Death Star. So here it is. We have the Death Star. We have a handful of images that I was able to pull off of Reddit, and wow, this is the box and all that. This is the outside of the box. Let's go back to the actual Death Star itself. We'll talk about everything else here in a minute, but let's just talk about the Death Star here. And this is exactly what all the leaks have pinpointed into saying what this was, saying it was a donut, a slice of cake, not even a full sphere, and here it is. And there's a lot to break down and talk about in this Death Star here, and you know, I have mixed feelings about it. I have a very hard feeling about it, and that is this is not a $1,000 set, and just the measurements they had posted about this set is not quite in line with how big the 2017 Millennium Falcon is, but looking at this, I feel like I've been cheated as far as what the set could have been. And you know, even if it was half a sphere, at least we could have had half the sphere that could have maybe mounted flat against the wall. The door, the spherical door, like I guess opens up dollhouse style. I would have been okay with that, but this just feels incredibly lackluster. And if you like it, I don't mean to come across as like I'm dumping all over your opinions. Again, these are just my opinions. Take of them what you will, but let's just go ahead and dive into talking about how this Death Star looks, my initial reactions from it, and just going floor by floor what we can do. And there's just a gross amount of disappointment here as far as how this looks and just their justification and $1,000, which I cannot see spending $1,000 on the set. And anyways, let's go ahead and start from the bottom here. So we have a handful of minifigures here. We have Krennic, Galen Erso, some type of device here in the background. We have the Death Star Ultimate Collector Series plaque here with some text on it. It's hard to see because this image isn't the greatest as we blow it up. But let's talk about the base here. So we have the base. It looks like it's a pretty beefy structure as far as holding up all this. Very, very similar to the 2008-2016 Death Star, where it kind of comes up and then meets you where you had the first platform where you can go around, where you have the round platform for the very bottom floor of the Death Star, and it works its way up. This is a little bit different. It starts from a very small point and it works its way up. I'm really curious how this is going to work. Is there another foot back there that keeps this thing from falling backwards, or is there another foot that they're not showing to keep it from toppling forward? I'm really curious how this is going to work, as the images of the backside of it don't look like this is going to be able to sit flush against the wall, as there are some divots that come out of the back of the Death Star. So ignoring this questionable structure as far as how this is going to be supported, let's move our way up to what we have. The trash compactor scene here, which we have Luke in his Stormtrooper outfit, potentially R2-D2 over here with the behind this door here. And let me turn on my mouse real quick because you can't see that right in this right this second. There we go. Let's turn the cursor on. So Luke Skywalker here with his Stormtrooper outfit, R2-D2 back here behind this door inside the trash room, which is, you know, it's nice to see all the dioramas come together. I don't like how it's sacrificing a great deal, and I think the trash compactor creature here is kind of back there in the corner. It's kind of hard to see, but it looks like that's maybe it back there. And then over here we have 3 stormtroopers here. We have a couple of Imperial officers and then an Imperial shuttle. This, could have completely gone without an Imperial shuttle in this room. I get what they're going with this. They're going with trying to make the Emperor's arrival, or maybe Vader's arrival, from episodes 5 and 6. So it's just one of those things where I don't see a need for this at all. It's very minuscule, very tiny. I will give it to them. It is a very smooth build, very studless looking, clean, but I don't see this being necessary. I would have gladly taken a couple more stormtroopers, and maybe even a sticker print on this wall of like a force perspective type thing of the rest of the Death Star landing bay with the Imperial shuttle in the background. I would have taken that over this right here. I don't like it. Lots of tile work here to simulate outer space in the background. I just don't like that tiny Imperial shuttle. I don't dig it at all. Other than the fact that it's very clean looking, it's very studless, but it's not in scale at all. I mean, this looks like the baby Imperial shuttle that would come out of the big Imperial shuttle if the Imperial shuttle was still orbiting around the Death Star. Then you have C-3PO up in here in that control room, kind of reminiscent of Episode 4. I'm not sure what this is. This could be Vader's meditation chamber by the look of the kind of dome-like design and how it's kind of over here in the corner. I kind of dig that if that is Vader's meditation chamber. And then over here we have the scene from Episode 4 where Obi-Wan Kenobi is trying to deactivate the tractor beam, and another stormtrooper here. And then flying above that is the Luke Skywalker and Leia flying over the ravine of the that one shaft from Episode 4. We have an Imperial Protocol droid here. We have maybe an equipment room or mechanical room. Or I'm sorry, this looking at it better, this looks like the jail block that they're trying to escape from Episode 4 as well. You have Han in his stormtrooper outfit with Chewbacca and a couple of more Imperial officers. And then we go back to the very next floor, go up to the very next floor. We have the Death Star Mega Laser here, which honestly looks kind of weak compared to the 2008 version. It looks very, very weak in my opinion. They used what looks like to be transparent antenna pieces along with some poles. That's kind of new. I do like these transparent antenna pieces, as I've been looking for these, so hopefully with these coming back in stock, I can complete a Lego playset that I have been wanting to recreate. We have some Imperial gunmen here, another Imperial officer. This goes into a hallway that kind of connects over here to the chambers here where the Imperial officers all meet to discuss things. And there were some other pictures I had seen where Leia was trying to like get out of a probe room, or where she was about to be probed from the droid from Episode 4. Maybe this is behind that, or maybe that's what this is over here. I'm really not sure. Those pictures were very grainy, but I got the point. I got the point across at least. And then up here, all the way up and down, we have what seems to be an elevator shaft that is going up and down. Now, the one thing that I kept looking around for was the bathing suit stormtrooper. So I don't see where that could be unless it's back here. Maybe this is some type of door right here that this could be hiding behind. That seems to be the most opportune place for it. Or maybe even up here, some type of panel that moves to show the stormtrooper in his bathing suit. And then up here we have kind of like a command station up here to fire the laser. We have another droid up here. This could be R2-D2. I'm thinking that's R2 down there, but we'll look over the minifigures here in a second. But we have another droid up here. And then up here we have the Emperor's throne room, which looks identical to the throne room diorama that we got in 2023. We have some Imperial guards, which I hate that they have these weird staffs. I wish they would have gave them the pointy spears like they had in the 2008 version, I believe. I can't remember. My version, I think, has the spears, or maybe I swapped those out myself. And then we have Luke and Vader and the Emperor and his advisor up here. So lots of detail as far as going up and down the floors. There's some good greebling on the side to add some texture and all of that. A lot of what's going on as far as how this looks, a lot of tile work, a lot of brick work. But let's talk about the minifigures here, which we have up here, which we can't really see the text here, but it looks like we have Farm Boy Luke, Stormtrooper Luke, Return of the Jedi Luke, Leia, Han, Stormtrooper Han, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan, C-3PO, R2-D2, some maybe Mon Mothma. I can't really, not Mon Mothma, Grand Moff Tarkin. Thank you. Vader, Palpatine, his advisor. Can't really make out who that is. Imperial officers, Krennic, the protocol droid, 6 stormtroopers, which is nice. It would have been nice to maybe have gotten 2 more. Some Imperial gunmen, I think, more Imperial officers, guards, another protocol droid or astromech droid, and the bathing suit stormtrooper, which has a lot of text behind it. It would be nice to get a more better scaled up version of this image that we can read out better. But here's the outside of the box. The outside of the box is completely misleading. It's one of these things where I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, this is going to be a great build. It's really exciting, and the art on the box is phenomenal. It's just the build is just kind of no, it's not doing it for me. But the box looks phenomenal. This is almost poster worthy in my opinion. And in fact, if that would be a phenomenal gift with purchase if this was a poster. But the box looks great, but it's completely false advertisement as to what you're going to be building in the box. Which is also one thing to point out, and it may be in the bottom right or left hand corner, but there's no Lego logo on the side of this box. And also too, this doesn't really look very Lego-y as opposed to what Lego has done in the past. So it's very confusing why they went this route with the box. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they're kind of channeling like the Venator, that type of artwork with the Venator, which I can kind of understand. But at least with the Venator, you were building a Venator. It wasn't a minifigure scale Venator, but it was big enough, to say the least. And then here are some scenes from the other side of the box, which does have the dimensions on it over here, which I think this is like 27 inches tall and like 28 inches wide, I believe. Maybe flip those numbers, but there is the side of the box right there. And so that gives you the side of the super laser, and you can kind of get a better idea of the structure here. So maybe it is completely flat on the bottom, but as you can see, it is not flat on the back. There's that little divot out there for the throne room. And here's that scene I was talking about where maybe this is back in the sail block where Chewie and Han were earlier. But here's the probe, here's Vader, here's Leia, kind of down there. That's not exactly how that looked in the movie, but it's interesting to say the least. The trash compactor scene with all the characters in it. You have Han and C-3PO lean back in that control room that we saw. We have the Imperial, I guess, meeting chambers with Vader force choking that one guy. We have the throne room with the final duel from the original trilogy. We also have a gun, which they didn't really, I couldn't really see where that was. Maybe it's right here on the side, or maybe it's kind of poking out right here. It's really hard to tell from the images that they gave us from these leaked images, but here's another good example of the hallway right there. There is the duel between Vader and Obi-Wan with a great cutout right there, but it kind of gets diminished by the trash compactor there, which that's one thing that the original Death Star did a really good job of, and that was really breaking out all the scenes and spacing everything out fairly well, in my opinion. But this, I think what Lego was going for here was trying to create as many scenes from the original trilogy, which, hats off to them for trying to jam all these details into the set. My only problem with it is if you were going to execute this in the way that you're trying to execute it, where it almost seems modular Harry Potter castle style, where Harry Potter castles have the ability to slide different things in and out to create these different scenes that you see in Hogwarts. They were trying to do that, but they were trying to make it to where you get everything that you could, maybe could want, jam pack it in there, and it leaves a lot to be desired. So I don't really see how they messed this up, especially when you had a great example like the Harry Potter Castle line, where you had all these things that you could swap around to paint the story that you wanted to based upon what was your favorite movie. In this case, Harry Potter, you had 7 to choose from Star Wars. In this case, for the original trilogy, you have 3 to choose from. So, and honestly, they could have maybe slipped in a little Revenge of the Sith in there somewhere, but it doesn't look like they try to do that at all. It's all original trilogy, which, don't get me wrong, I love the original trilogy, best trilogy out of the 2 Star Wars trilogies in my opinion. So let's just move on. We have the Imperial Shuttle, which again, that should not have been included. This is just weak. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks clean, but this looks more like a Microfighter Imperial Shuttle, like a Ultimate Collector Series Microfighter Imperial Shuttle. That's a handful of titles for Lego Star Wars I didn't think I'd ever string together. And then we have the landing bay here with the Emperor, Vader, the Stormtroopers, a couple of Imperial officers, which, seeing all these together is nice, but if you put all these Stormtroopers in the set in this one scene, then they're nowhere else to be found inside of the entire structure, which leads a lot of scenes to be wanting. So I really think if they really wanted to wow us, 10 Stormtroopers at the minimum, that would have been absolutely fabulous. Just 10 Stormtroopers. But looking at all the scenes and all that, I feel like this is very much it's not $1,000. And I feel like I'm really, taking a dump all over Lego here when I say this, but this is $500, and if you really want to, slim it down to where it's $500, I mean, I don't know what you could take out, honestly, because there's not a lot here that you could work with. I think what Lego should have done, instead of having this crazy expensive Lego Star Wars set, the first ever $1,000 Lego Star Wars set, they really could have taken a page out of Lego Harry Potter. So let's just say, for example, the way how I would have gone about doing this, I would have made the frame, I would have made it spherical, okay? Half spherical. You buy the frame and you get maybe one scene. What that scene could be, maybe it's the mega laser being set up, the Death Star laser being set up. And then over the period of the next year, you release accompanying scenes to slot into these spaces that are modular, that can come out, that can be rearranged for the most part. I feel like with Lego, they worked themselves in a corner here, in a creative corner here, as far as where this is, where the elevator shaft is. That I can understand about. So maybe the first ring of this set comes the throne room and the laser. Let's just start off with that, and then you have the elevator shaft that's built in there, and then you have this here. I feel like you have to have the reactor shaft like it is with the tractor beam and all of that, and this here, but still make this somewhat modular to where you could slot out these different things, to where you could arrange them in a way to where they would fit in a couple of different spaces. Obviously, there's going to be some things that have to go certain places, but still, Lego, they can make something work to where you could slot things in and out, and to me, that would have been brilliant. And if you want to, you could continue this line down the road to where, okay, you have the frame, you have these expansions, you have these different scenes you could paint, but there is a whole lot more going on in the Death Star that we didn't see in the movies, that I feel like leaves a lot to the imagination for the Lego creators for the Lego, creator engineers to say, oh, hey, let's do this and slot that in there. Let's do this and if you really want to expand this too, you could also add like a little subset of Recreate the Galaxy, where slot some characters in there. I don't know. What Lego has done, they have worked themselves in a corner to where they are forcing people to drop $1,000 at once who really want the set. And of course, there's going to be people who buy this set. I guarantee you, M&R Productions probably already has this on the way to his house right now. And, you know, other creators are going to get this who are going to be a part of the LAN network, which I'm crazy jealous that you get this in the first place, because I would think that LEGO would be like, well, we're not going to give this to you, but they have to give it at least one or two of them to get the set out. That way they can praise it and all that fun jazz, you know, and kudos to them for being a part of LAN. But there's just a lot that could have happened with the set that I feel like would have been great for them to work on this for a year. You know, give us a new little modular to slide in there, you know, every 2 months. You could do 6 modulars for 2025 and then another 6, and then work on some other stuff, and maybe even to where while people frown on DLC, I do, especially for video games, because a game should not be released unless it's complete. But in this case, if you really want to give the fans what they want, there should have been a whole sphere, and this should, if you're going to make it to where if it's going to be done either way, because there's going to be some awesome people out there who are going to figure out a way to close this up with some doors. But that could have been a different part of the set where you release the doors, you know, and just have it enclosed completely. That way you have the full, you know, at least half spherical design. And this should have been able to be wall mountable, because let's be real here, this is a huge set, and I'm trying to figure out where I could put it. And even on the shelf in my Lego room, it has the most space in between for the original Death Star from I think it's 2016 models what I have. I don't think that would fit up there either. So that leaves me with wall space galore that I could have worked with here, and that would have looked awesome somewhere hanging up on all the blue that I have. Absolutely stellar. That hugest opportunity here for this size of set. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the 2025 UCS Death Star. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you'll be picking this up. Do you think this is a hit or miss? Do you think that the way how it's laid out is great or not? What you would have done differently? I love to know your thoughts, because I feel like that there's so much to this set that LEGO missed out on, that we all as a fan of LEGO are picking up on, and just, you know, not that I feel like I'm picking apart this set, but this is just, I feel like this is well below LEGO's level of standard of quality of only the best is good enough, and this is not the best, and this is certainly, in my opinion, not good enough. So I don't know what else to say about this, but I just want to make a video sharing my thoughts, and I also wanted to get your thoughts from the video, from the Death Star, what you guys think about it. And yeah, so anyways, next time we will talk about, I'll release the video that I was going to edit today, and that is of the Lego City being taken down, torn apart. So if you're excited for that, be sure and subscribe and tune in next time. But anyways, guys, you have a fantastic rest of your week, and friends. Keep building, comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.
Yes, yes.